Hi everyone, and welcome to the Adopt-A-Stream webinar, our first method of reaching out through a webinar to all of the Adopt-A-Stream volunteers. We want to thank you for your participation in today, and also thank you for your patience as we have learned a few things about our program and today's event. We have had an unexpected cap on the number of participants for today, and we're making every effort to record audio. We will marry it to the PowerPoint presentation and put it on the Adopt-A-Stream website within the next few days. So that will be shared out again through the e-news. I wish we were all talking face-to-face, so thank you for putting up with this virtual way of communication, just saving everyone a whole bunch of travel right now. A few just housekeeping announcements. We'd ask that everyone please mute your microphone if you have not already. That way all of the other lunchtime noises that might get picked up, we can concentrate on our topic for today. And we'd also ask that as you post questions in the chat box, which you should see on the right side of your screen, that you post those questions to the presenters. We will compile those questions and at the end do our best to answer as many as possible, and I'm sure revisit many of the topics that that you have concerns or questions on or ideas to offer. So again, welcome to the Headwaters of the South Carolina Adopt-A-Stream webinar. We're very happy for those of you that could join us, are here with us today, and very excited about the interest in this program. Today, you'll hear from several speakers as we gather around on the conference table in Columbia at DHEC. I myself, I am Katie Buckley. I'm probably not going to like hearing my voice when we replay this, but I work for Clemson, and I'm the director of our Center for Watershed Excellence. We also have Heather Preston here with South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control.
Thank you, Katie. Yeah, as Katie indicated, this is Heather Preston. I'm the director of the Water Quality Division here at DHEC, and as such, I have oversight of our efforts for this initiative.
Okay. Joining us is also Will Rice with the Center for Watershed Excellence, who's been working with us on database development, protocol development, and communication that you'll see today. Scott Higgins is with us.
Yeah, I'm really excited to have everybody here and be able to get some, I guess, new information out to some of y'all and let you know where we're planning to go with the program.
And David Chestnut with South Carolina DHEC is also joining us here today.
Hi everybody, this is Dave, and I'm in the surface water monitoring section, and so I'm hoping to be able to provide a little help getting this program going.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'm going to start off and just kind of give a little background of how we have transitioned over from a Georgia Adopt-A-Stream program to launching the South Carolina Adopt-A-Stream program. And as several of you may know, in the past several years, there's been a lot of volunteers that have been trained and certified through the Georgia Adopt-A-Stream program and have been collecting data samples and entering those into the Georgia database. But within the past year, we've had several of those volunteers that wanted to really get something going here and have a South Carolina-based program. And so they actually reached out to Director Heigel of DHEC and let her know their wants and concerns and what they would like to see in South Carolina. And since then, that has been one of the priorities that she's had for the agency, and especially the Bureau of Water, and that we're paired with the Clemson Center for Watershed Excellence to co-lead the creation and sustaining of the South Carolina Adopt-A-Stream program, to where we are looking for the objectives of this to be the education of communities, individuals, school groups, anybody that lives in a watershed, which is everybody, and make them aware of their watershed, but also collect some really valuable data and have that in a central, user-friendly location. And so the way we started out, we started back in I think July or August of 2016, and we really started with the Georgia Adopt-A-Stream program, and we've been taking their procedures and manuals and training and modifying those to fit South Carolina's strengths, the resources we have, and more focused on the watersheds that we have within our state. And we're hoping and looking to have the program, a full South Carolina program by the 1st of May of 2017. So that gives us about a month and a half, and so we're really going to be looking to y'all to get in on the ground floor and help us grow and build this program from the ground up, and it's a great opportunity for anyone in the state to be a part of. And with that, I'd just like to say some special thanks to some organizations and groups that have really been integral in getting this program to the front of the line here in the state. We've got Upstate Forever and the residents of the Saluda and Savannah Basins, the staff and members of the Clemson Volunteer Extension, and also Pickens County, especially Pickens County Stormwater, Southern Wesleyan University, USC Upstate, and of course special thanks to the Georgia Adopt-A-Stream program and the staff members that we've been working with there. They've been a great asset in allowing us to use what they have already put out there to help South Carolina get up and running.
For those of you who are new to the Adopt-A-Stream program, I expect that many of our participants today, or several of our participants today looking at the list, might be new to what these protocols are. We, again, are very thankful to the Georgia program and the leadership that they've given. We are using their protocols and adopting them for South Carolina's use. And the first one that I'll review is the visual protocol. And the objective of that one is to record stream conditions, make a connection with the volunteer and with those who are using the program of the impact of land use and how that changes hydrologic conditions and the stream itself, stream stabilization. And towards that end, try to rank and establish restoration priorities for our overall stream health. So elements of that visual protocol include rating quantitatively bank stability, the presence of pools and riffles, riffle embeddedness and the amount of sedimentation that's going into a stream that could be harming our macroinvertebrate community, assessing and documenting the stream's access to its floodplain and what kind of plant species and coverage exists to continue to protect that floodplain long term, and the species that live within that system. To evaluate and document adjacent land uses and the potential for bacteria sources, and of course also look for the potential of illegal dumping and illicit discharges that could be affecting our stream's quality on a regular basis. The next protocol is the chemical, well, there's chemical and also bacterial combined for this one slide, which is where we document in-stream conditions using an Adopt-A-Stream kit with recommended testing methods and equipment that will be defined and discussed later in the Quality Assurance Project Plan. And those chemical parameters are also called in situ parameters, such as documenting and recording a stream's temperature, air temperature as well, pH, dissolved oxygen, conductivity, and some additional tests that you can also include as an option with some recommendations on how to have those tests done or kits to do it yourself. The bacteria protocol also documents several in situ conditions as well as E. coli, and that's for fresh waterways. And for all of the protocols, documenting the potential for illicit discharges and for chemical and bacterial, also the trends that exist for our stream conditions that might be weather related, land use related, and making that information available to local decision makers to create local solutions, expedited solutions to local water quality concerns. The most intense training and protocol of the Adopt-A-Stream program is the macroinvertebrate protocol. And that's our canary in the coal mine of sorts of indicators of long-term and progress towards improved or poorer water quality conditions. And so those bugs and insects that live in the bottom of the stream are rated quantitatively in, according to their presence and diversity. But then we also document stream habitat conditions, sedimentation, things that could be affecting those scores, and overall rated qualitatively within this protocol. For all of those protocols, again, really looking at trends and the opportunity to quickly determine solutions to local water quality issues.
All right, and then coming up, we have several short-term priorities that we're really looking to get implemented and in place to get the program really up and running and just build a great foundation for it. First of all, just like we're doing today, and we're wanting to enlist y'all's help as well to build the program awareness, get the word out, share it with different groups and organizations that you may be a part of, and just letting us know who you've talked to as well, so we can follow up with that. But also, we are really in the depths right now of working to create a secure and reliable mobile-friendly database. The database not only will be able to be accessed online on your computer, but it will also be able to be accessed through your mobile phone or tablet. So if you're actually out in the field, you can enter your data in situ there, and kind of eliminate having to take paperwork out and bring it back to get that entered in. Also really looking to develop timely and informative communication methods. We've already started with the Adopt-A-Stream newsletter / listserv. So if several of y'all are probably signed up for that, but if you're not, you can sign up for it at clemson.edu/watershed, which you see at the bottom left. And that will keep you up to date on what's happening with the Adopt-A-Stream program and allow us to communicate with you more effectively. And also, we are working to get an approved quality assurance project plan with EPA. This will lay out the different guidelines that we are going to stand behind when it comes to our trainings of volunteers, recertification methods, the sampling methods for the different parameters, and also training of trainers across the state. And to continue on with our short-term priorities, one of the biggest things we're looking at right now is identifying funding support from different grants and sponsorships throughout the state. This can be on a local level, state level, and even federal level. So we're exploring some opportunities there, and we'll definitely keep you all informed with that. We're also going to be looking to establish the South Carolina Adopt-A-Stream Advisory Board. We're looking to have this completed in fall of 2017, and this will act just like along the lines of the Georgia Adopt-A-Stream Advisory Board, which will oversee the program, and if there's needs for changes or revisions to anything, they'll kind of be the front line to discuss that and come up with the best way to go about that. Again, this support from the public, this is also including the MS4s and the Public Works communities, different municipalities. We've done some presentations at some municipal meetings to get that word out, and hoping that some of those folks will be interested in some of those areas, will be interested in supporting local Adopt-A-Stream, either by supplying kits to the volunteers or finding some way for education and outreach within the watersheds that they occupy. And this is an awesome opportunity for individual groups and agencies to come together to build the program structure from the ground up again. This is a great time for anyone interested to get involved, to help shape this program and offer any insight or ideas that may come to their mind. So now looking a little farther down the road, we have 1 to 2 years anticipated changes, and this is kind of some deviations from the normal Georgia Adopt-A-Stream protocols. We're looking to develop more time-efficient training with hybrid learning, and what that means is trying to set up trainings for volunteers where a portion of that will be web-based, and you will then be able to take a test for that and then have just field time in the stream with certified trainers to do the collection and the analysis of the different parameters. And this should cut down on the time needed to be away to do a full training at an on-site location, where part of it can be actually done in your home, office, on the go. It makes it a little more easy and a little less time consuming. And also we're looking to book ahead regional workshops throughout the state and have set schedules for those. That way the different areas of the states will have a better idea of when trainings are going to be available to them, and that is going to hopefully transcend through from year to year, so that we will have several workshops within different regions of South Carolina to accommodate folks. But also there's still an as-need basis. So just because we will be setting up a more lucrative schedule for the training events, we can also definitely accommodate any as-need trainings that may be. If there's groups somewhere that have people that are ready to be trained, we can definitely set that up as well. And then, like I mentioned earlier, changes are also coming, and we're discussing changes in recertification frequency and the format of that. Right now it's set that you need to be recertified annually through the Georgia Adopt-A-Stream program, and we're in discussions to see what it would look like to modify that some to make it a little easier on the volunteers that we have, and also possibly incorporating some type of web-based format and recertification into that. And also looking to utilize more technology for communication, and even though there's a few bumps with it, this webinar being one, being able to reach out to a large group of people a little easier, and again the newsletter, but then also utilizing some more developed technology in our database to help accommodate our data and the retrieval of that. Looking to expand and diversify volunteer opportunities, just with continued education, having groups get together for shoreline plantings, rain garden installs, any type of community events that we can get together that would help spread the word and get more people involved with that. And then also we will be looking to plan a Watershed Management Conference, which will be along the lines of the Georgia Adopt-A-Stream Confluence.
And I'll just mention that these changes are goals of the program. Just as we learn about the resources and networks that exist in South Carolina, local group objectives and opportunities, just really trying to maximize the learning potential, the involvement and stewardship opportunities that exist here in South Carolina that might be different across the state. So not to say that one is better than the other, but making use of existing resources and then network here as much as possible. So we are interested in hearing what types of activities and events and offerings you have locally in helping really build a program from the ground up here in terms of stewardship and engagement.
So in terms of the database that we're creating, we've been working with Clemson University's CCIT, their IT department, in creating what we hope will be a new and improved version of Georgia's database, while keeping the forms fairly similar, just for ease of use of the volunteer, but making little changes along the way that might make it a little easier. So this is just some screenshots of the database that we've been creating. and we'll walk through that briefly, especially the forms. So this would be the landing page where we'd have a map of the different sites across the state. And then the forms should look fairly similar to what the Georgia forms will look like. Very much inspired by that. Trying to make it as mobile friendly as possible so that if you wanted to input data while out in the field, that would certainly be an option.
And you can save.
Then, yeah, so chemical, bacterial, macroinvertebrates, these forms should look fairly similar to what you're dealing with the Georgia forms. The only differences will be pretty minor, and it should just be formatting. In terms of other aspects of the database, one thing we're really trying to highlight is the ability to extract data really easily. So volunteers can extract their own data, or you can extract data by watershed or county. And Katie's going to talk a bit more about that. But the important thing to note here is that our database is not up and running as of yet. And so if you're a volunteer, you still need to be inputting data into the Georgia system until you hear back from us.
Thank you, Will. That was great. Also in the database, we do anticipate that there will be a way to save. So if you've got your visual assessment information recorded and then you are going to move on to macroinvertebrate, you can kind of save where you are, re-log in, come back in and complete your form with checking off that you are certified and you stand beside your data and that step. Also, we will be looking to have the ability to upload photos, so up to 3 to 4 photos approximately per site that's shown upstream, downstream, maybe an outfall or concern that is significant at the site or something that really represents that location, so we can again record that information and document it over time as land use changes and roads change and bridge crossings. And so we're looking forward to that aspect of this next step in database development. Again, Will said that for the map application, when you go to visit the website, when this is actually up and running and able to be shown, there will be a drop down that allows you to select what major watershed you really want to focus in on by both HUC number and by name, or you can zoom into your county and look at the stations that are existing in your county. By clicking on a site ID, you'll be able to find information about the most recently sampled event, how many events exist at that site, and the site ID. Once in the database, for those of you who are users and volunteers already with the Adopt-A-Stream program, you know that your data that you enter is graphed against a state or federal standard, and we'll be looking to do that as well for the South Carolina database. We're also working hard towards a flagging system for South Carolina that will both manually and automatically alert the administrators of this program, the local environmental quality control officer that's assigned to an area, an MS4, which is a multiple separate storm sewer system permittee across the state. So I probably should have spelled that out a little bit more, but if you have a stormwater department, basically their point of contact, or if there is no stormwater department, the Public Works point of contact. Whenever there is suspicion of an illicit discharge or consistent high E. coli results from your monitoring. So those will be both have the ability to have an automated response that we set within the database code, or that you can so that you can react and raise a flag to a local situation and leave it to those local authorities to respond or not to respond, and in a way to follow up. Again, really emphasizing in Harold's words, local solutions to local problems, but in an as expedited and transparent fashion as we can create using new technology.
All right, so moving forward, as we've mentioned before, please take the time to sign up for the newsletter. We do have a dedicated website, which is www.scadopt-a-stream.org, that is currently still in the works of getting set up. So for the time being, you can refer back to that clemson.edu/watershed, which will take you to an area where you can sign up for the newsletter to stay informed and up to date with happenings of the South Carolina Adopt-A-Stream program. And also, again, I ask that you please just share the information with others, help them sign up for the newsletter. If they have any questions or concerns, they can get in touch with any of us, and we'll definitely be able to help them and get things answered. And also, just wanted to point out for those that may not know or have not registered yet, Georgia's Confluence, which is their Adopt-A-Stream annual meeting, is coming up March 24th and 25th, which is actually next weekend. And you can sign up for that at georgiaadoptastream.com. And those workshops, there's going to be workshops, speakers, poster sessions, exhibits, awards, and time to just socialize with other Adopt-A-Stream volunteers and the folks from the state level as well. And so this ends our part of the presentation here. This is just some contact information for y'all to get in touch with us. Should you have any questions after this webinar, feel free to let any of us know. And again, the website down at the bottom for signing up for the newsletter. And then we also, Clemson's Watershed, Center for Watershed Excellence has an Instagram account at CU_watersheds, and we are using the hashtags SC AAS and SC Loves Our Rivers for anything that may be posted Adopt-A-Stream related or related within the scope of Clemson's Center for Watershed Excellence. So at this point, we do have a couple of questions that have been chatted into us, but then we'll also open it up to other questions that y'all may have.
Just please send them directly to the presenters, and we'll go ahead and combine and compile those questions and respond to everyone as we can. One thing that, just in closing, that I really want to say is we really can't say enough how appreciative we are to everyone to have this opportunity. For those of you who have been doing this 10 years with your family, or to those who are just really excited to get this started locally, we are appreciative of the work that's been put forward to raise this to the attention of that it has right now. There are only a handful of states that have an Adopt-A-Stream citizen science type monitoring program that is led or co-led by the delegated authority, and I think this is very important for the strength and range and the long-term capabilities and utility of this program. So thank you, and thank you to Georgia for the great model that they are allowing us to tweak and adapt to our strengths here. So we can go ahead, and there's been just a few questions, and one of them is in relation to Gills Creek watershed, which, if you don't know about Gills Creek and you live in the state of South Carolina, I don't know where you've been hiding. Everyone does know truly the devastation, at least from a newspaper level, of Gills Creek in Columbia.
And the question says that Gills Creek is in Columbia and was devastated by the flood. Is assessment of Gills Creek on the priority list? And the way, with Adopt-A-Stream, it is definitely up to the volunteers to be the ones that select the areas that they want to do work in. But in the Gills Creek area, I do know there is a lot of interest from several groups that reside and work within the watershed. I've had a couple of meetings with folks from Heathwood Hall in setting up an Adopt-A-Stream program within the school to use as education for the students, but also getting teachers, faculty, staff, and parents involved in that. But also the Gills Creek Watershed Association is already involved in Adopt-A-Stream and sampling some of the areas within Gills Creek at this current moment. So as we continue to grow, that is definitely an area that we would like to see be put on and have several sites around and getting sampled on a monthly basis. It just, again, with Adopt-A-Stream, it starts with the volunteers, and where someone would like to work. But with the groups that we've had interest in that area, I would think that that would be a very real possibility for the Gills Creek watershed.
And overall, if you are a new volunteer and looking to get involved, we've been asked questions like, are sites assigned? It's really, based on your interests and your access opportunity, safe access to a stream. And one tool that you might want to start looking at is DHEC's Watershed Atlas, which will have a very large component in our training. As we go ahead and create those trainings, the Watershed Atlas will be heavily used. But that does show existing USGS gauging stations and DHEC monitoring stations, and so it's often useful to pair your local station with something near a USGS gauge.
All right, and we have more of a comment here than a question, and I'm probably going to mispronounce your last name because we have a street here that we say differently. But it's from Brandon Gervais. It says that he works with the City of Florence as the illicit discharge inspector, and they are sampling for most of the parameters that we list within the Adopt-A-Stream protocol for the City of Florence. And he would be glad to assist with building an Adopt-A-Stream within the city limits. So if anyone listening is interested in the Florence city limits, please reach out to the city and to Brandon.
And
Thank
Brandon, I will follow up with you since that is an area that I know someone else is very interested in hosting some trainings.
And asking if the PowerPoint will be posted to scadopt-a-stream.org.
Yes, we will go ahead and combine the audio that we're recording here with the PowerPoint slides and make that available through the e-news and put it on the Adopt-A-Stream website, yes.